the rarest pets of world leaders. Did you know that behind every great world leader, there's an unexpected companion? From imposing tigers in dictators' palaces to talking parrots and rare dog breeds that captured media attention, these animals reveal the most human, eccentric, and surprising side of power. But before we begin, subscribe to our channel and leave your like. Now, let's get started. Number 10, Animal Legacy: How Leaders' Pets Make History. When we think of world leaders, the first image that comes to mind usually involves fiery speeches, historic treaties, major political decisions, and moments that changed the course of entire nations. However, there is a more intimate and less talked about dimension of many of these leaders: their pets. These living beings, which often share the daily life, space, and even secrets of historical figures, play a curious yet significant role in how we remember leaders who left their mark. The presence of these animals reveals nuances of a ruler's personal life, their humanity, moments of vulnerability, and in some cases, even contributions to science, culture, and environmental preservation. A classic and widely known example is President Abraham Lincoln and his dog, Fido. Lincoln, who led the United States during an extremely turbulent period marked by the Civil War and deep social divisions, was known for his empathy and humanity. Fido, his faithful companion, not only belonged to the presidential household, but also became a symbol of this highly valued human side in a leader. Photographs and memories document the dog sitting beside the president or playing during moments of rest, reinforcing the image of a ruler close to the people, capable of genuine affection and care. In many historical accounts, Fido is cited not just as a pet, but as a presence that softened Lincoln's heavy and often lonely routine. He represents the personal facet of the president, reminding us that even in times of war and critical decisions, there was room for compassion and emotional connection with living beings. Similarly, other leaders throughout history incorporated animals into their lives in ways that went beyond mere entertainment. Joseph Stalin, for example, kept a tiger in his official residence. This choice, besides being exotic, symbolized eccentricity, power, and fascination with rare species. Animals like Stalin's tiger were carefully protected and cared for by specialized teams, receiving attention that often extended to photographic records and official documentation. These records not only reinforced the leader's image as someone who could control the wild, but also provided material for scientific observations on animal behavior, diet, and habits of exotic species. Leaders like Stalin, Churchill, Roosevelt, and others kept animals that, directly or indirectly, contributed to species preservation. For instance, by keeping exotic species in captivity, these leaders ensured that rare specimens were documented and studied. Today, many of these records have become valuable resources for biologists and historians, allowing the understanding of behaviors that might otherwise have been lost. Some of these animals, now potentially extinct or endangered, had their habits, diet, and characteristics documented thanks to this privileged contact with figures of power. The impact of leaders' pets goes far beyond biology and environmental preservation. They also play a significant role in popular culture, literature, and historiography. Museums and exhibitions often highlight these animals through photographs, biographies, or documentary films. Winston Churchill, for example, was famous for his love of dogs, especially Cocker Spaniels. His photos with the dogs, taken in formal and informal moments, reveal a facet of the British leader often overlooked in purely political analyses. The public connects with these moments, realizing that even individuals who shape the destiny of countries have feelings, fears, playfulness, and affections. Rare animals in particular attract special attention. They not only spark curiosity, but also reinforce narratives about the character of the leader who owns them. A tiger, a lion, or even exotic birds kept in captivity carry symbolism of strength, nobility, or distinction. By documenting these animals, leaders reinforced an image of sophistication and power, while generating records that would later become important for zoological research. Some of these animals were subjects of treaties, photographs, paintings, and personal diaries, becoming silent witnesses to historical and everyday moments. Studying the historical impact of leaders' animals also reveals how these affectionate relationships shape public perception. Leaders known for their love of animals are often remembered in a more humanized way, while those with histories of cruelty or indifference may have their image negatively affected. For example, Lincoln's dog softens the perception of a president facing the United States' greatest internal conflict. Observing these relationships allows us to understand an essential layer of humanity that shines through seemingly simple affections. Furthermore, many of these animals contributed to science in unexpected ways. Rare species kept in captivity by leaders allowed detailed observations on reproduction, selection, feeding behavior, and social habits that would later be applied in zoos, research centers, and conservation programs. Some scientific contributions came from meticulous records of the diet, health, and social interactions of animals such as tigers, leopards, exotic birds, and primates, all kept in controlled environments by world leaders. The legacy of leaders' pets is, therefore, multifaceted. They have cultural, scientific, and emotional impact. Each rare or exotic pet carries stories of coexistence, care, and often special protection. Some became symbols of status or power, while others reinforced the human and vulnerable side of rulers known for harsh and relentless decisions. They help build narratives about lifestyle, priorities, and character, offering historians and the public a fuller perspective on these individuals' lives. Literature and media also extensively explore this historical facet. Detailed biographies often include chapters dedicated to pets, while documentaries explore the bond between leaders and their animal companions. These records help humanize historical figures, turning leaders into individuals with affections, fears, and tender moments. They remind us that even in positions of extreme responsibility, there is room for love, care, and connection with living beings. Reflecting on the historical impact of leaders' pets, we realize that their presence goes beyond superficial curiosity. They are part of the cultural legacy, contributing to the understanding of the leader's personality, worldview, and relationship with nature. Each rare or exotic animal tells a story within history, reminding us that behind wars, treaties, and political decisions, there are human beings with deep and unexpected emotional bonds. Number 9. Pets and the media. How photos and pet stories shape public image. In the era of instant information and social media, world leaders' personal lives have never been so exposed. Amid speeches, official visits, and diplomatic commitments, pets emerge as a powerful communication tool, capable of shaping public perceptions and even influencing a leader's popularity. The effect of a rare or unusual animal in the media goes far beyond entertainment. It conveys messages about personality, values, and empathy. Many leaders have recognized the strategic potential of showcasing their pets. For example, photos of presidents playing with rare dogs or cats can convey closeness to the people, sensitivity, and humanity, contrasting with the often austere or rigid image of political power. In some cases, exotic animals such as rare birds or reptiles generate international fascination and curiosity, helping to create an aura of sophistication or eccentricity. The media, always eager for captivating stories, turns these moments into narratives reaching millions, creating symbolic memories that persist even after the leader's term. Beyond images, videos, and stories about pets' care and habits also have significant influence. A leader seen feeding a rare animal or interacting with it affectionately may be perceived as more approachable and empathetic. This reinforces a positive image, often leveraged in political campaigns, interviews, and public appearances. The impact is not limited to the leader's country. International media shares these stories, expanding the narrative's reach and humanizing figures who might otherwise seem distant or inaccessible. Public curiosity about rare pets also drives digital engagement. Memes, news articles, blog posts, and social media highlights of these relationships turn the animal into a symbolic ambassador of leadership. Famous cases like French President Emmanuel Macron with his uncommon dog breeds, or the British Prime Minister with an exotic cat, show how these animals can become an inseparable part of public image, sparking interest and admiration. Thus, world leaders' pets function as silent yet highly effective communication tools. They reveal details about the leader's personal life, values, and character while influencing public and international perception. More than companions, these animals become protagonists in media narratives, capable of reinforcing or softening the owner's image. In this context, every gesture, photograph, or story involving a rare animal contributes to building a visual and emotional legacy, reminding us that in power, even small details, like the presence of a pet, can have a lasting and unexpected impact. Number 8. Leaders' lifestyle through their pets. World leaders' pets go far beyond being mere companions. They reveal deep aspects of the lifestyle, personality, and daily routines of these historical figures. The choice of a pet, whether a domestic cat, a rare dog breed, or an exotic animal, can reflect a leader's interests, priorities, and habits, offering the public a unique glimpse into their personal life. For example, leaders who choose independent, large dogs often reflect a personality focused on discipline, strength, and presence. These animals require specific specific care and space, indicating that the leader values responsibility and organization. Conversely, those who keep cats, birds, or more reserved animals may reveal a more introspective routine, appreciating moments of contemplation and calm amid the intense pace of political power. Exotic animals, on the other hand, indicate a taste for uniqueness and even a fascination with uncommon domains. Owning a tiger, a rare parrot, or an unusual reptile requires dedication and specialized knowledge, revealing traits of curiosity, sophistication, or eccentricity. The presence of these pets not only shows specific interests, but also directly influences the leader's daily routine, demanding constant care, attention, and adaptation of living spaces. Furthermore, pets can shape habits and social behavior. A leader who regularly walks their dog, for example, demonstrates the value of exercise, connection with nature, and social interaction. In contrast, quieter, more exotic pets may indicate a more private routine, with moments of introspection and focus on personal activities. In all cases, pets serve as a reflection of how the leader organizes time, manages responsibilities, and seeks balance between personal life and power. Lifestyle also manifests in how leaders publicly share their relationship with animals. Some choose photos and appearances at events, conveying a sense of closeness to the people. Others keep the relationship private, revealing it only to a select few. These choices communicate personality traits and strategy, showing that every detail, including interaction with pets, contributes to public perception. In short, world leaders' pets are far more than curiosities. They are mirrors of lifestyle, revealing habits, values, and the personality of those in high office. Observing the relationship between leaders and their rare animals allows insight into character nuances, personal priorities, and the delicate balance between power and affection. Studying these bonds shows that behind every historic decision, there is a leader who, like anyone else, seeks companionship, care, and emotional connection with living beings that transcend politics. Number 7. Curiosities and records. The strangest and most exotic animals of leaders. Throughout history, world leaders have not limited themselves to ordinary dogs and cats. Many opted for exotic and rare animals, surprising for their uniqueness, size, or behavior. These unusual pets not only attract attention due to their rarity, but also reveal unconventional personality traits, tastes, and interests of those in power. One of the most curious cases is Soviet leader Joseph Stalin, who kept a tiger in his residence, reflecting not only eccentricity, but fascination with powerful and imposing animals. Meanwhile, dictator Nicolae Ceausescu had a collection of exotic reptiles, including rare snakes, demonstrating interest in uncommon and difficult to domesticate species. These animals required special care, technical knowledge, and constant attention, showing dedication beyond political responsibilities. Some contemporary leaders also surprised with unusual choices. Talking parrots, monkeys, iguanas, and even giant turtles are among the rare animals living with presidents, prime ministers, and monarchs. In some cases, these pets gained international fame, being photographed at events or in everyday moments, creating a public image of eccentricity, sophistication, or closeness to nature. The choice of exotic animals is often linked to status and prestige. Rare animals symbolize power, wealth, and influence, especially when acquired legally and responsibly. Moreover, they can be part of conservation or scientific study initiatives, showing that leaders can also contribute to knowledge and the preservation of endangered species. Curiosities about feeding, behavior, and care of these animals also attract attention. A monkey trained for small gestures, a bird capable of imitating speeches, or a reptile requiring specialized handling makes the relationship between leader and pet a fascinating study. Beyond entertainment, these stories reveal the complexity of maintaining rare animals and the dedication needed to ensure their well-being, something ordinary citizens rarely imagine. In summary, the strangest and most exotic animals of world leaders go far beyond simple fascination. They symbolize power, eccentricity, care, and curiosity, revealing unexpected facets of historical and contemporary figures. These unusual choices remain documented in photos, reports, and stories, becoming part of a legacy that combines authority and humanity, showing that even at the height of power, relationships with the animal kingdom can reflect character, interest, and unique personality. Number 6. Pets as a diplomatic tool. Throughout history, world leaders have discovered that pets are not just personal companions, but also powerful diplomatic tools. The presence of a rare or charismatic animal at official meetings can ease tensions, create bonds between leaders, and even reinforce the image of empathy and humanity of a ruler. A classic example is presidents presenting their dogs or cats during informal meetings with foreign diplomats. Interaction with the pet allowed moments of relaxation, reducing formality and creating a friendlier environment. Exotic animals such as rare birds or small felines added an element of curiosity and fascination, serving as conversation starters that brought leaders from different cultures and traditions closer together. In certain situations, animals became diplomatic symbols. A parrot at official events or a dog known for intelligence could represent not only the country but also the sensitivity and sophistication of the leader who owned it. These rare pets were often highlighted in photographs, present at bilateral meetings, and even mentioned in informal speeches, strengthening human connections in complex political contexts. Moreover, choosing a pet for diplomatic purposes reflects strategy and cultural awareness. Leaders aware of the symbolism their pets carry use their presence to create rapport with international visitors. For example, introducing an animal associated with the country's fauna can convey respect and appreciation for one's culture while sparking admiration and interest in visitors. The effect is not limited to relationships between leaders. Media plays a key role in amplifying these interactions, turning pets into public symbols of diplomacy. Photos of meetings featuring pets go viral, generating global coverage and associating the leader's image with positive traits such as affection, care, and humanity. Thus, rare or unusual pets function as subtle yet effective diplomatic tools. They help humanize leaders, ease negotiations, and build symbolic bridges between different cultures and nations. More than mere companions, these pets become silent agents of communication, reminding us that in the complex world of international politics, even a gesture involving an animal can have lasting impact and strengthen historic relationships. Number 5. Between power and companionship, the psychology of leaders and their rare pets. The relationship between world leaders and their rare pets goes far beyond simple companionship. These animals often reflect personality traits, emotional needs, and psychological strategies of those in positions of power. While political life demands constant decisions, responsibility, and public exposure, pets provide a safe space for affection, relaxation, and expression of vulnerability. Rare, exotic, or uncommon animals require specialized care, attention, and patience. Choosing to keep these species can indicate specific psychological characteristics of the leader, such as a taste for uniqueness, desire for control, or fascination with unexplored aspects of the natural world. Moreover, the bond with a rare animal can function as an emotional regulation mechanism, helping to reduce the intense stress associated with leadership and providing moments of emotional relief amid exhausting schedules. Research on applied psychology in leaders suggests that pets directly influence behavior and decision-making. A leader who regularly interacts with pets demonstrates greater capacity for empathy, patience, and attention to detail, skills that reflect in policy making and negotiations. Rare pets, due to their complexity and peculiarity, further reinforce these abilities, demanding constant observation, adaptation, and sensitivity. Additionally, the relationship with the animal reveals aspects of identity and self-perception. Some leaders use their pets as extensions of their public persona, while others keep them private, showing that even in power, there are intimate and personal dimensions. A tiger or exotic monkey, for example, can symbolize strength and uniqueness. A rare dog breed, loyalty and discipline. An unusual bird, curiosity and sophistication. Each choice reveals psychological nuances and personal priorities, offering clues about how the leader handles power, pressure, and interpersonal relationships. Following the lives of these animals also helps understand how leaders balance affection and responsibility. Caring for rare species requires daily dedication, specialized knowledge, and respect for the animal's needs, reflecting discipline, attention, and commitment, essential qualities for anyone in high office. In short, the psychology behind leaders' relationships with rare pets is a fascinating field that combines behavioral study, public perception, and insights into the emotional life of historical and contemporary figures. These pets are not just companions, they are subtle indicators of character, emotional balance, and psychological strategies, revealing that even at the height of power, contact with the animal kingdom remains a universal need for connection, care, and humanity. Number 4. Pets that made history. The cultural impact of leaders' animals. Throughout history, world leaders' pets have transcended their role as mere companions, becoming cultural icons capable of influencing society, media, and even the public perception of the leader themselves. Some pets became widely recognized symbols, depicted in photos, paintings, books, and even films, showing that the presence of a rare or exotic animal can leave a lasting mark beyond politics. A notable example is Fala, the dog of President Franklin D. Roosevelt. Fala became so famous that he participated in campaigns and became part of presidential iconography, remembered as a symbol of loyalty and closeness to the people. In other contexts, leaders with exotic animals such as tigers, parrots, or monkeys turned their pets into elements of cultural fascination, attracting international attention and sparking curiosity about unconventional lifestyles. These animals often inspired artistic and literary works. Painters, photographers, and writers were captivated by the uniqueness of certain pets, creating narratives that combine power, eccentricity, and humanity. In some cases, the pets were protagonists in children's books or documentaries, helping to perpetuate the leader's legacy and turning their relationship with animals into a cultural reference. Cultural impact is also evident in modern media. Photos and videos of leaders interacting with their rare pets go viral quickly, generating discussions, memes, and global coverage. This exposure creates a symbolic bond between the leader and the public, reinforcing traits of empathy, closeness, and sophistication, while transforming the animal into a recognizable figure in its own right. Moreover, rare or exotic pets often spark interest in conservation and biology. Public curiosity about their behavior, diet, and origin can lead to scientific studies, preservation campaigns, and increased awareness of endangered species. Thus, the cultural impact is not limited to symbolism, but extends to knowledge and environmental conservation. In short, pets that made history show that even amid complex political decisions, leaders leave emotional and cultural legacies. Their pets serve as a bridge between public and private life, between power and humanity, and between history and art. Each carefully chosen animal reveals not only eccentricity or status, but also the potential to inspire, educate, and enchant generations, cementing world leaders' presence in the collective imagination through their relationship with the animal kingdom. Number 3. The hidden side of palaces. Secret pets of presidents and monarchs. Behind the pomp and formality of palaces and official residences, there often live pets that few people know about. These secret animals provide world leaders with moments of intimacy, emotional relief, and connection to everyday life, away from the watchful eyes of media and the public. Among common dogs and cats, there are also rare and exotic specimens that quietly reside in corridors, gardens, and private rooms, showing a surprising human side of those in positions of great power. Keeping animals secret is not just a matter of security, but also of preserving the emotional bond. Some leaders choose to protect their exotic pets from public attention to avoid pressures related to specialized care, ethical criticism, or international curiosity. It is common for monkeys, rare birds, and reptiles to be kept in restricted areas, with dedicated teams ensuring proper feeding, hygiene, and well-being, while the leader interacts with them in private moments. Moreover, these secret pets reveal little-known dimensions of the leader's personality. Rare animals require patience, dedication, and sensitivity, traits that reflect personal habits and life choices. A tiger or parrot discreetly kept in the palace may indicate a fascination with uniqueness and attention to complex details, while dogs and cats hidden in private rooms symbolize the need for companionship and emotional comfort amid the constant pressures of governance. The hidden side of palaces also generates curious and amusing stories. Accounts from staff and biographers describe unexpected encounters, moments of affection, and even small incidents caused by pets, revealing a lighter and more human daily life within official residences. These stories help build a narrative that contrasts with the image of austerity or formality, showing leaders sharing space and attention with living beings of different species. In short, secret pets in palaces are much more than curiosities. They humanize leaders, provide emotional relief, reveal personality traits, and contribute to lesser-known stories of official life. Observing these pets allows insight into intimate intimate nuances, demonstrating that even in the highest positions of power, the need for companionship, care, and connection with the animal kingdom is universal. The discreet presence of these animals transforms palaces into homes and leaders into people, reminding us that behind politics, there is always an affectionate and surprisingly ordinary side. Number 2, rare animals and diplomacy. How pets influence leaders' public image. Rare pets are not just companions, they also play a significant role in shaping the public image of world leaders. The choice of an exotic or unusual pet can influence popular perception, convey sophistication or eccentricity, and even reinforce desired personality traits in the political sphere. In a world where public perception is as important as actual politics, animals become symbolic instruments of communication. Leaders who choose rare dog or cat breeds convey loyalty, discipline, and affection, while the choice of exotic animals, such as tigers, monkeys, or rare birds, signals originality, curiosity, and status. These pets become symbolic extensions of the leader's identity, helping shape how the public perceives them. Photographs, videos, and public appearances with these animals create narratives that strengthen the image of humanity, empathy, and even elegance, humanizing figures who might otherwise seem distant or austere. The effect on international diplomacy is also notable. The presence of a rare animal during bilateral meetings or official visits can ease relations, create conversation topics, and generate rapport between leaders of different cultures. For example, a leader presenting a talking parrot or an uncommon dog breed during an official visit demonstrates care, attention, and openness, turning the animal into a silent agent of connection. Media plays a central role in this process. Photos of leaders interacting with their rare pets often go viral, reinforcing public image and influencing perceptions both nationally and internationally. Every gesture, interaction, or story shared about these animals contributes to building a symbolic legacy, where pets function as indirect representatives of the leader. Beyond strategic aspects, the choice of rare animals also reveals personal preferences and values of the leader. These pets require dedication, specialized knowledge, and daily attention, showing commitment and sensitivity. At the same time, they spark curiosity and fascination among the public, making the leader-animal relationship a point of cultural and social interest. In summary, rare pets directly influence the public and diplomatic perception of world leaders. They humanize, charm, and communicate subtle messages about character, lifestyle, and values. Observing the relationship between leaders and their pets shows that even powerful figures turn to animal companionship as a form of expression, strategy, and empathy, demonstrating that in power, an unusual pet can be as impactful as any speech or political action. Number 1. Unusual stories. The most peculiar pets of world leaders. Throughout history, world leaders have not limited themselves to common dogs, cats, or typical pets. Many have chosen rare, exotic, or simply peculiar animals that would surprise anyone who learns about the choices made by those in absolute power. These animals not only provided companionship and entertainment, but also revealed personality traits, habits, tastes, and even diplomatic strategies of the leaders. Their stories combine eccentricity, scientific curiosity, and moments of humanity amid strict schedules, political crises, and immense responsibilities. A famous example is Abraham Lincoln, who adopted a dog named Fido. Although seemingly ordinary, the dog became a symbol of the president's empathy and closeness to the people. Fido accompanied Lincoln on walks and household activities and was depicted in illustrations and contemporary memoirs. The impact of this dog goes beyond affection. He humanized the leader during a period of intense national tension, allowing the public to see the caring and vulnerable side of a president facing the Civil War. This simple story demonstrates how even the most common animals can acquire symbolic significance when associated with historical leaders. In contrast, other leaders preferred exotic pets. Joseph Stalin, for instance, kept a tiger in his official residence. This animal not only reflected power and grandeur, but also showcased a personal fascination with the extraordinary. The presence of a tiger required special care, strict security, and constant attention, demonstrating Stalin's dedication to maintaining a controlled and unique environment. This choice shows how leaders can use animals to express personal traits, eccentricity, and status, creating an image that mixes fascination and intimidation. Nicolae Ceausescu, dictator of Romania, owned a collection of rare reptiles and snakes kept in restricted areas of his residence. These exotic animals were not just objects of curiosity, but also symbols of uniqueness and control. Maintaining delicate and uncommon species required specialized knowledge and dedication, showing that even the most authoritarian leaders had complex, multifaceted interests outside the political sphere. Learning these stories reveals that leaders' rare pets tell us much about their personality, tastes, and even image strategies. In more recent times, contemporary leaders also surprise with unusual animals. Talking parrots, iguanas, monkeys, and giant turtles are among the rare pets kept by presidents and monarchs. For example, Emmanuel Macron, president of France, is known for his dog, Nemo, a rare breed dog who became a constant presence at official events and public appearances. Beyond entertainment, pets like Nemo help create a narrative of closeness to the public and humanity, making leaders more approachable to citizens. The presence of exotic and rare animals also influences diplomacy. Leaders who introduce their pets during official meetings create opportunities for connection and interaction, easing tense moments. A parrot, a cat, or even a rare breed dog can spark casual conversations, cultural exchange, and unexpected bonds. In this context, the relationship between leaders and animals transcends the home, becoming a subtle yet strategic instrument of communication and public image. Beyond social and diplomatic dimensions, leaders' rare animals have cultural and scientific impact. Many are recorded, photographed, and studied, helping researchers understand the habits and behaviors of little-known species. In some cases, these pets contributed to conservation and scientific documentation, especially when dealing with endangered or hard-to-maintain animals. Thus, the role of rare pets extends beyond affection. It encompasses education, environmental preservation, and scientific curiosity. Curious stories about these animals are abundant. Fala, Roosevelt's dog, participated in events and political campaigns, reinforcing the image of the president as close to the people. Stalin, besides the tiger, had purebred dogs and cats, all receiving special attention. Nicolae Ceausescu had a monkey that interacted with family members, surprising visitors and generating anecdotes that became part of historical accounts. In other cases, leaders kept animals in absolute secrecy, revealing them only to biographers or close family to protect the emotional bond and avoid public exposure. The emotional impact of these animals on leaders is also notable. During times of war, political crises, or complex decisions, the presence of an animal provides relief, distraction, and emotional connection. Leaders can demonstrate affection, patience, and care, skills that reflect in their personal lives and even in the way they conduct negotiations or public interactions. Rare animals require attention and sensitivity, becoming subtle mirrors of the leader's personality and emotional balance. Moreover, many of these rare pets left a cultural legacy. Photographers, artists, and writers documented their interactions, creating stories that endure. Documentaries, books, and even exhibitions showcase these animals as integral parts of world leaders' personal and political history. They humanize figures who might otherwise be remembered solely for accomplishments or political decisions, adding layers of narrative and fascination to global history. In short, the most peculiar pets of world leaders represent much more than curiosity. They reveal personality, affection, eccentricity, sophistication, and humanity. Each choice, whether a loyal dog, a talking parrot, a playful monkey, or an imposing tiger, tells a story about the leader's lifestyle, interests, and priorities. These pets influence public perception, diplomacy, culture, and science, proving that the relationship between powerful humans and the animal kingdom transcends mere companionship, becoming an element of historical, emotional, and cultural legacy. Exploring these stories, we realize that rare or exotic pets reflect the most intimate side of leaders, revealing unexpected, inspiring, and often surprisingly human facets. They demonstrate that behind decisions, speeches, and policies, there is always a leader who values friendship, care, and connection with living beings, and who, even at the height of power, remains deeply human. Thank you very much for watching the video. If you enjoyed our content, subscribe to our channel and leave a like. Also, check out other interesting content appearing on your screen right now, and I'll see you in the next video. See you next time.